Department of Agriculture, and your year is rain is Miss Kentucky. Ladies and gentlemen, we're ready to get started this evening with our Supreme Champion Heifer selection. We will be selecting a top five tonight. So I think this is the first time in North American history we're going to bring all the reserve females of each breed in. We'll line them up over on the east side of Freedom Hall here as they're introduced, and then we'll introduce you to all the breed champions. So getting started this evening, first off, your reserve grand champion Angus female
top five and
was exhibited by Houston Free of Sullivan, Indiana. Houston is a sophomore at Sullivan County, Indiana. He's exhibited SSF Lady 50-30, daughter of Conley Express 70-11. Your reserve grand champion Angus.
Exactly. So chairman
Your
of the
reserve grand champion AOB
lots of
was exhibited by Miss Sarah Sullivan of Dunlap, Iowa.
This is a different format than years past, and at our March.
The heifer's JSUL Primo Gal, an own daughter of Colburn Primo.
Top five, and
your reserve champion AOB.
The consideration of how do you structure and do that correctly, and it was the consensus of that group.
The reserve champion Charlotte was exhibited by Kelton Arthur of Stillwater, Oklahoma.
As well, and
Kelton's an 8th grader.
I would hate to
participates in the Ripley FFA chapter. He exhibited GHC KLA Sabrina 0181.
Seen that in various shows.
A daughter of M&M Outsider. Your reserve champion Charlotte.
Exactly. You bet. And Corey and I visited.
The reserve champion key female, also exhibited by Sarah Sullivan of Dunlap, Iowa.
Nature, you wouldn't be here for the most part.
Sarah's a freshman in college currently,
really cool
and a member of the Crawford County 4-H Club.
Sometimes second
the reserve champion key is JSUL Huda Whitney, another daughter of Colburn Primo.
That kid gets to go home and brag about something.
The reserve champion Key Angus was exhibited by Samantha Van Boris of Bowling Green, Ohio.
And I think that's refreshing.
Samantha's a junior in high school.
Those extra families.
She exhibited BMW Ace 4228. Another daughter of Colburn Primo.
And I'll
reserve champion Key Angus.
As a board member of the Angus board of directors.
The reserve champion Gelby, balancer female, was exhibited by Cody Clary of Mount Eula, North Carolina.
I really was not for it originally because
Cody's a sophomore in college and he exhibited GHGF two-step 200H. Daughter of fortune teller as your reserve champion Gelby.
And since
your reserve champion Hereford exhibited by Kinley Daly of Kingston, Oklahoma.
Maybe while we're here,
she exhibited BK Half Points 050H, a daughter of H the Prophet.
And this is a very competitive environment.
Your reserve champion Hereford.
In a very expensive environment.
The reserve champion limousine female exhibited by Sarah Sullivan, Dunlap, Iowa.
Well, and
this female DL Hush Money, a daughter of ELCX King's Landing, the reserve champion limousine female.
That's all right. We were second in class. Now they get to go home with purple banners.
The reserve champion main female was exhibited by Abri Belcher, Blakesburg, Iowa.
It's really appreciated.
Abri is an 8th grader. She exhibited BK JG Honey Run,
a little bit
05H, the daughter of Epic, the reserve champion main female.
The city in Denver.
The reserve champion maintainer was exhibited by Caitlin Skiles of Stephenville, Texas.
Right now.
Mm-hmm.
Caitlin's a sophomore in high school, a member of the Erath County 4-H. She exhibited Soul Come and Get It,
school tomorrow.
A daughter of I-80.
Range for the most part.
Right.
And if we
reserve champion Red Angus female exhibited by
take some young folks out of school, and it's not going to be quite as family appreciative, and so that's why it is the way it is right now. And the beauty of this has been now that we can utilize broadband, and broadband looks just like Freedom Hall.
Oh, absolutely.
The picture backdrop's the same, the green shavings. In fact, every other event held at this exposition center throughout the year happens in broadband.
Okay.
The North American is the only time that this facility in terms of Freedom Hall is utilized.
Because
okay.
Show, right?
Good. Well, there's nothing like it. And, the Supreme Drive with these females, I guess you guys can say you're the original. And there is other green shavings and there's colored shavings.
Yep.
But as a livestock enthusiast, an exhibitor, a breeder, I don't care where you're at. When you come down that ramp and you see Freedom Hall dusted in green shavings, you are not human if the hair on your neck doesn't stand up. And kudos to you guys for a long-standing tradition.
You know why those shavings are green?
I'd know, sir.
Kentucky green grass.
Kentucky
really?
green grass. Okay,
Okay.
there you go. For Facebook world, there it is. Well, it works. It works. So, is there anything up your sleeve moving forward, North American, that you'd like viewing public to know?
No, we're always welcome to everyone's input.
Okay.
Anything we can do to make it more exhibitor friendly
Right.
and a benefit to the exhibitors, that's what we're here for.
Good. Well, Charlie, thank you. Thank you
all
for
very
taking the
much.
time to come visit with us and see you
Appreciate
down the road.
Appreciate you all. Thank
Yes,
you.
sir.
Thanks a
Yes,
lot,
sir.
Charlie.
You bet. Hey, Corey, that's good stuff when you get to hear it right out of the.
Yeah, I thought that green wood shavings deal was pretty interesting.
Exactly. Well, I mean, what would they have done if they'd had to have this thing in South Dakota? Dirt.
And I'm not sure what color that would have been.
What?
Probably blue after the jackrabbits, probably.
The jackrabbits.
Yeah.
That
South
I'd leave it to
Dakota
y'all.
State
Do
jackrabbits.
it on blue. Exactly.
Blue and yellow.
Blue and yellow. Right? That'd be entertaining. So.
What?
Why?
Yeah, they
Why?
are right now. We got
Absolutely.
some snow last weekend.
Yeah. Here we got Supreme Drive. They're introducing these kids as they come in. The champions, as you can see, have entered, and they are now bringing in the reserves. It looks like the reserves were first.
Yeah, the
Okay,
reserves
I just
are
got
first. Yeah,
a good correction. I told you earlier, if you'll just say something, somebody will correct you. So there we go. Reserves are in. Champions are now coming in, and
We'll just kind of go through here briefly.
yeah.
That champion Angus is Rance Wheeler out of Missouri. Udell bred female out of Casino. The champion AOB heifer was Seth Martin. That's a flip my sheet here. That is a daughter of Quantum Leap.
Okay.
Her name is Beth Dutton.
It's big shoes to fill.
Yeah.
Reckon she's ever been in a water trough?
Well, I hope to take a big trough. Champion Charlet heifer shown by Braden Schaefer, Tim Schaefer's boy. Boyert heifer there out of Outsider. The champion Key heifer shown by Allison Underwood. She was a Hoodaman daughter raised by Weingartner and Klingman there in Ohio.
Okay. Yep.
You know them guys. The champion Key Angus heifer, South Dakota heifer shown by Haley Holt out of Bush's Unbelievable up there,
Okay.
Bush Ranch up there in South Dakota. The champion Gelbay heifer, I tell you what, another one on a roll here, Brad. Another South Dakota heifer shown or raised by Volix up there in Highmore, South Dakota. That one was shown by Gentry Johnson from Iowa.
Okay.
The champion Hereford shown by Paige Lemondanger, another Boyard heifer. That one's out of Hoemaker, the old Hoemaker bull.
Okay.
The champion Limousine heifer shown by Sarah Sullivan comes from Rattless down there in Kansas. She was reserve at Junior Nationals this summer. The champion Maine female shown by Turner Longacre, Databank daughter. Brent Toll was here. He'd be yelling Databank.
Yeah. I would say it's highly likely right now that Toll and Jakey are outside Facebook living each
I
other.
know.
They just want everybody to know.
Light it up.
Exactly.
That one was raised by Blind Badger Ranch out there. Good friend Brian Fox.
That
out there
guy
in
there
Colorado.
wouldn't brag on himself for nothing. No, he just wouldn't.
Champion maintainer shown by Whitney Walker, daughter of Dual Threat. Whitney out of Arkansas down there. Goes back to that Lucy cow raised by Stack and Walker. Champion Red Angus shown by Riley Morris. Champion Shorthorn shown by Reed Shoemaker. daughter of Red Knight. Champion Shorthorn Plus, shown by Houston Faree out of Primo. Champions Purebred Simmental, shown by Kaylee Langford, with a Relentless daughter. She was raised by Steenhooks there in Iowa.
Okay.
Champion Sim Solution female is McKenna Decap out of Severa Style.
Okay.
And I did not get the Sim Solution was not on the sheet. Oh, right there it is. Yeah, no, the Sim Solution effort was McKenna Decap. She was a Severa Style out of a Hildebrandt cow.
There you go.
Yep, that should be all of them.
Oh yeah. And of course, yeah. They're all getting in here now. But hey, we got a special treat. We hit on it earlier. We're thankful that he get to come back by.
Yeah, he didn't get get him to the
over.
side. Yeah,
exactly. We'll keep him in here long enough they'll forget about it. But no, it's our pleasure at Cattle Drive Live to welcome with us for this Supreme Heifer Drive, Jirl Buck. Jirl, it was fun watching you.
Well, it was fun. It was a good show, and I mean, probably the way I made it up here is I just came directly from the ring to here, so no one else had a chance to catch me yet. So I'm sure there's plenty of people that would disagree because that show was extremely competitive, and when it gets that tough, we all have our own opinions. But I thought it was an awesome show, and I was real happy with the 5 we ended up with. I was glad that we got to use 5 this time because, just like you mentioned earlier, the one steer that was second in class made the top 5. Yeah, and, he would have went home as a second place steer, and as it was, he got to go home as being top 5 steer. So exactly. And I think that's one of the nice things that the North American has done. And, it's neat to go down there and sort the cattle on the green chips, and they bring such quality. It's not huge numbers. It's really impressive because with there not being any numbers, there's not a premium sale. Only the good ones go. You don't have a lot of extras, so it's tough. And it was a good time though. I enjoyed it, and I'm very happy with the ones I ended up with. So.
Good.
Well, them classes were so deep.
Oh man, there was struggle. I mean, there was some of those classes. It's like there's 5 of them in here that could be second.
A lot of times, a class of 10, you'd pull. A guy most places you'd pull 8 off before you walk the final 2. There was classes of 9, you'd pull 1 off and then walk 8.
Right. Yeah. I mean, it was tough, and I mean that's what makes it fun. That kind of gets your blood pumping, and that's kind of gives you the energy when you're out there. It's like, whoa, I can't wait till the next one.
Yeah,
it was a good time. This year's, I was talking to Dr. Rayfield. This is pretty interesting. We were talking about it right before I came up here. That's what I told him. It's from he was giving me a hard time about staying down there. I told him to just let him be mad at one person at a time. But I was telling him that, I don't know how many judges put these together.
Yeah,
but there had to be 8, probably 6 or 8
at least.
At least maybe even 10. So you get, and I'm saying they get good judges for this show. So there was good people that judged all of them, but there's difference of opinions.
Yep.
And so you have a little bit different types. So from his standpoint, it is a little challenging, to put that all together. Because he made the mention to me. He's like, I really got to pay attention to these reserves because he said there may be some on that side that I like as well as the champions, and that might be what pushes a champion through the hole,
Yeah, exactly.
But they sure look good from here. I'll put that way.
Oh, there's no doubt. So in the steer show, as you worked your way through those lighter weight classes and you get into, I don't know, Corey and I seem like the quality was great in that first class we talked about.
Yeah,
that's
awesome.
Really good steer. Very first steer.
That was a good.
That was a good camp. Yeah. I mean, he
wasn't market ready, but he was good.
He was good. Yeah. Sometimes you start off those shows with a lightweight that maybe not be as desirable, but he was like, man, we could make him 1350. He'd be a player because he was built right.
Yeah, it must have been about class 3 or 4 that those steers got to weigh in 1327, 1332.
Well, they started
made the
weighing
comment.
1,300 fast.
Yeah, they did. But we noticed right there that, Corey had looked through the sheets and that class 7 was loaded with so-called players of the business and their kids. And you think, well, that must be where, as a whole, they think where they need to be at. We felt like that 1330 class, there was heat.
Oh yeah.
And from
that's
right
for sure.
there to about 8, you were a player if the quality, but when the steer,
I don't even know what class number the grand steer was out.
he was
of.
in 5.
He was in 5. Yeah.
That was that's I
Is
guess
it
where I'm
when
getting to.
5,
When 5
7?
hit the ring and you saw that calf, was he the kind that gave you a chill and said,
Oh, I know.
well, I'm glad you're here.
To me, anytime you're judging a show and when you see a steer that comes to you, think that one can win.
Yeah.
So to me, it automatically, on the other side, I just relax because it's like, hey, I know I've got a champion.
Yeah.
Hey,
You
there you
know,
go.
I didn't know what was coming behind him. I didn't know that he was actually going to be the best one I saw, but I knew I was going to be happy to take a picture with that calf.
There you go.
And so then from there on, I mean, it was like we knew where we were headed, So
We were impressed. I was impressed. Corey and I visited actually in class 10. Those steers got heavy, but you walked 8 of the 9 steers. You were hustling as hard for the 8th place steer in class 10 as you did the 3rd place calf in class 5, 6, 7. And it was refreshing, and on our opinion, my opinion, and Corey's as well, that if somebody left the North American and said, "Well, that guy didn't give me a chance," that's bull.
well, I've been in that 7th and 8th place before sometimes, and sometimes you don't feel like you get that attention. When I showed steers when I was in school, I was usually in 7th or 8th place. So, it is. I mean, it's important, and in that particular class, honestly, I couldn't figure out what I was going to do because there was a group of those steers that were all nice.
Yeah,
I mean, they were all good quality. They were too heavy to win the show, and I knew they were out of the running. But I want to do my best to try to line them up the best I can.
Yeah, I think that's refreshing. I think it's refreshing to get to see somebody take the time. Obviously, you have been on 7th, 8th, as you said, and you've been at the backdrop, as you said in your in your speech. So to take that perspective and apply that to those kids, sometimes that kid that was in 7th, that's the best he's ever done.
That's right.
And I think that I applaud you for that, and those listening that get the chance, that we remember at times. Sometimes we don't remember who was 3rd, 4th, 5th overall, but there's some young kid that's fire was lit today because Jirl Buck put him 7th, and he's never been there before, and he goes home with the pat on the back from you in 7th. We don't sometimes recognize.
Mm-hmm.
There was the girl that won that class. That class was pretty tough on the top end, like I said. But when I pulled her, she gave me the best response feedback of any exhibitor I pulled all day long. I mean, her face lit up, and she was just, I mean, you would have thought she won the show. I mean, she was so happy. I mean, like, she made me feel good when I gave her the one. She was like, really? So I mean, that's what it's about. I mean,
Hey,
she didn't know.
Just because we are on the lighter side of humor around here a lot of times, that heifer there at the front end of this lineup, Beth Dutton, she carries the Yellowstone brand.
Hey, she does, doesn't she?
I mean, she's just missing the rocking part of the Y. Look at that.
Boy, she is.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
the girl in the pink.
I've seen
that's
that
probably
heifer.
why she's Beth Dutton.
Yeah,
Sure
I bet
could
that's
be.
right.
I felt like it was because she was high quality.
Yeah.
That's high quality.
Yeah.
And she don't take no crap off
No,
me.
I'm telling you, no. And if I thought any different, I'm scared enough to still say she's high quality. So, but yeah, I just thought that was unique setting here. I've seen this heifer. I think the other side of her, she's got a belt stripe, but this show side, she's got the Yellowstone brand, and a hardware head.
Tim Schaefer's little boy there. Look at him trying to see what's going on.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
just a little tyke.
Yeah.
He's got that heifer stuck very well.
Tell you, just a few more years, he won't have to get on
No,
his tippy
he's
toes,
got-
will he?
Yeah,
No.
he'll get big.
No, my son will forever have to look
He's-
under. His
he's-
will forever look
Yeah.
over.
He's got tall on both sides. Of the
Yeah,
field.
you bet he does. What a lineup. And what Jirl said, to think that this lineup was put together by multiple different judges, it's just incredible from one end to another. There's useful cattle all the way through here.
Paige Lemon Danger with her Hereford down there.
Mm-hmm.
What other breeds do we got in between the Charlet and the Hereford there?
It's starting to grow. You think Rayfield's having a good time right now?
Think he is?
No.
Who?
Rayfield.
Well, I imagine he's scratching his head pretty hard right now. Because, this is the first time he's been here. I saw him yesterday anyway. He may have saw some of those champions, be selected. But, this is the first time for him for sure to get to see them together. And a lot of them, it's the first time he's ever seen them. So it takes you a second to digest what all's out there and what fits him. They're all good, as you can tell. I mean, there's not a blemish in that group, I promise you.
And it's even harder than normal with this top 5 deal because, I don't know about you, Jirl, but I mean, a lot of guys, I think, go to the microphone with kind of a top 5 in their mind, and to put all that together with the reserves, with all these breed champions, there's a lot of stuff to digest out there.
Oh, yeah. And I mean, it's just like we were talking about myself using that steer that was second in class in the top 5. Well, I knew as soon as I used the steer that won that class, because it was really close places, that those two were going to go. He doesn't have that benefit because he didn't line those up. So, when he uses one, he's still got to get that other one over there to see what things look like. So it could take him a minute to, even as he goes to selecting them, it could take him a minute to put that together.
Because he's going to head over there and look at them seconds pretty good, because you gotta almost look at them as hard as you do the champions.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Or at least the one that one or two that are in contention. Look at those seconds.
Last week we got to visit with Todd Herman about Kansas City Supreme Junior Drive, and Todd said the same thing that Jirl's talked about, that he visited with Rayfield about real quick. But the thing about what Todd said was, when you got back out there for him, fortunately there was his kind out there, but Todd had to pick one. He's got to pick 5. And I mean, here in a minute, hopefully we'll get to go and listen to his thoughts. He's probably hoping that when I get over here, look at him now, he's thinking, this is great. I don't have to say anything.
Maybe his microphone would work. My microphone wouldn't work.
I'd say right now, if I was in his shoes, I wouldn't want mine to work, because, boys, I'd like to just go out there and wave at you. There was a Tommy Carper said yesterday, it'd just be nice if, when you was done, if you could do the old Lane Frost wave and say, see you, this is how I like them. So, but it looks like they've got him some equipment here.
He's still trying to gather his thoughts.
That he is. Wouldn't we all do? Let's go listen to John Rayfield.
Tell you what, he is They're walking him out of second one right now.
There you go. I would, so here we go. We're messed up here. He's asking for some more batteries, but I would say they're going to find him something.
Testing.
Uh-oh, testing.
All righty.
And it's not. I'm going to apologize if he listens to here. I apologize for just calling him John Rayfield. It is Dr. John Rayfield. And let's go listen to him.
American, and certainly my honor and privilege to be standing out here before you to select the championship drive here in the Supreme Heifer Drive. Before we do anything, give these young people a huge round of applause. What an awesome set of cattle, awesome set of kids. Both sides of the ring, still I know plenty of good cattle back in the barns and on their way home and all that, because you know, the North American is the North American after all, for a reason. You know, it is certainly one of the premier, if not the premier venue to get these cattle shown and get them exhibited at the highest level. So just over the moon that I get the opportunity to stand out here before you tonight and just tell you which ones I like the best. I can recall the first time that I set foot on the grounds here at the North American. I would have been 18 years old, and I would have been judging in the National 4-H Livestock Judging Contest, and that would have been 1990. Can remember well when Smokey Spears brought me and the rest of the team from Alabama up here to compete in the National 4-H Livestock Judging Contest, and arguably that would have been one of the things that probably changed my trajectory in terms of my career, my life, and in all things that I'm passionate about at this stage of my life. Bobby Bell and I had several conversations leading up to this, and you know, Bobby said, John, this is history. This is the first time that we've ever selected a top 5 heifers at the North American. And I had to let that sink in just a little bit because, wow, history is one of those things that's pretty powerful. You know, that very first time that I set foot on the grounds, I got to thinking about that. And I said, you know, the first time I ever set foot on this fairgrounds was certainly history for the state of Alabama. We were the high team in oral reasons in the National 4-H Livestock Judging Contest. And if you listen to a guy like me talk very long, you're like, how did he ever win reasons at the National 4-H Livestock Judging Contest? I guess the officials were having an off day that day, but we were absolutely, and still to this day, my team's the highest placing team that ever came to that contest from the state of Alabama. We were national champions in oral reasons that day. And so that part of history and that part of the magic of coming to the North American is one of those things that I don't want you young people out here in the ring to lose. I want you to think about what it took to get here. I want you to absolutely let this moment sink in and realize that, hey, this is one of those things that can probably change your outlook on life in a lot of different ways. And so I would just challenge you young people who are out here, the ones who are in the stands, the ones who are back in the barn or on their way home or watching online, just think about how you're going to make your history, okay? Think about how you're going to make your history, how you're going to make your mark moving forward. You know, these last couple years have been tough. They've been tough on all of us. 2020 and 2021 have not been the easiest of times, but I'm encouraged because it feels like we're back to normal. We're back to normal in the real world. We're back to normal in the stock show world. And this, if this isn't evidence of that, then I don't know what is. Again, I'm honored and humbled to be here. I thank the crew at the North American. I thank Charlie Boyd. He reached out to me first. I thank Bobby. Those guys, you know, they don't realize how humbled I am to be here this evening. This is a little bit of a weird deal, folks, because I had no hand in bringing any of these cattle out here. So you have to kind of think about this, and you kind of have to study them a little bit, because honestly, I didn't play any role in getting any one of these animals out here in the ring. I'm just the guy that gets to tell you which 5 of them I like the best. My hats are off to the folks that judged these, got them out here, and did the heavy lifting to make my job a whole lot easier when we get to this point. So I commend all those folks that put together an awesome set of cattle for me to evaluate. Again, can't say enough how much I appreciate this opportunity. Not sure that I'm worthy of this opportunity, but I'm going to tell you what, I'm going to enjoy every minute of it. Give these exhibitors one more big, huge round of applause. I'm not going to say anything about the cattle that hadn't already been said. They've been talked and cussed and discussed enough. There's no value in me sitting here picking a hole in each one of these. They're all deserving of being out here. I'll just simply get to work and show you which 5 of them I like the best. Congratulations to these young people. Congratulations, whichever side of the ring you're on. Don't forget, go make your history. Thanks for having me.
Pretty refreshing remarks by Dr. Rayfield, and the positivity you could see that he screamed about agriculture today, and in terms of where we were at a year ago. And you looked around the steer show, packed house. We look here at the Supreme Drive, it's another packed house, and I think that's what we all need to hear, something positive. We're all tired of this other mumbo jumbo, but
Hey, it is positive though. If you look with the involvement of the youth that are out here, the people that's traveled as many thousands of miles to be here and be involved, it is positive.
John, he's struggling here and walking around and taking one last look.
there he is.
He walks around the front of the Hereford there.
Yeah, maybe the Hereford. I don't know. No,
he's going after Sarah Sullivan.
Sarah Sullivan with your champion limousine.
Raised by Ratliffs there in Kansas.
Okay.
Her mother was Supreme. We were just talking while John was talking, was Supreme here. Don't know the exact year on that, but 4 or 5 years ago.
Yeah, more than that. You're getting on.
Yeah, no, I mean to tell you. Yeah.
But the year she won, that would have been the first limousine that had won.
That had won.
In many years.
Yeah, I think.
There's been a couple, over the years. But
you bet.
That's awesome.
If we'd have known what we know now, we would have owned that cow when that show was over, because that cow has generated millions of dollars.
She has, yeah.
In multiple breeds.
Yep.
Oh, absolutely.
Yep, there's no doubt. She has made an impact.
Dr. Rayfield taking his time walking back through these cattle here. I think this is where it gets tricky. Well, everybody has a favorite.
Mm-hmm.
Can you just imagine if you'd had to pick 5 wives?
Oh, boy.
You'd have had a favorite.
Yeah.
Now, how'd you pick the other 4? I mean, really.
Exactly.
He's married to these things from now on, that these were Dr. Rayfield's top 5. So it makes it tough.
John's taking one last look.
Easing back towards the other end. He's got his mind set on
the maintainer.
Yep. Whitney Walker.
Dual threat.
Girl,
is that what you said?
Yep, dual threat. Goes back to that Lucy cow that Eric and Craig owned together. Craig Stack owned together.
Hey, 2 bright young women in ag right there. Sarah Sullivan, Whitney Walker.
Yeah.
Oh, they'll be industry leaders. You know
100%.
that. I mean, they already are, but I mean, they're on the move. Those girls are going to be successful.
And they had every opportunity to not be, but they took the platform that they had and just elevated it even more. And looky here. Whoop. What do we got here, Corey?
That was the low Simmental, or the Sim Solution female, McKenna Decap from Dixon, Iowa. She was a Silvera style daughter.
Gotcha.
She was actually Supreme Champion at the Iowa State Fair this year, sold by Jeff Paulson there.
Okay.
She's Supreme at the Iowa State
Yeah, at
Fair,
the Iowa
but you
State
said they were from Illinois.
Oh, no, my fault. Dixon, Iowa.
Oh,
There is a
Iowa.
Dixon,
Yeah,
Illinois.
there is. That's
Yeah. I just seen Dixon, and I saw an I there on my phone. And
I didn't want to
Dixon,
call you
Iowa.
out.
Yeah, I know.
Kind of wondered
Yeah,
about
that's at Iowa State
It's new
Fair.
deal.
That
Yeah.
Iowa State
New
Fair
deal.
Junior Show is closed.
Yeah,
You
that's
got to
what-
be from the state.
Yeah,
Yep.
that's cool.
Dixon, Iowa.
Iowa's made a pretty big move here at the North American.
Yeah.
They won the steer show.
Yep.
And they
And
just
they're
won the heifer show and third
first and
overall in the
third,
heifer show. I'd say might be a little tough competing in Iowa. So where are we at? 4?
We
We're
are
going for
selecting the fourth one here, and he's coming back down to this other end. His eyes
four.
keen on this one end down here, and I don't know which one he's checking now. He's coming all the way to the end to look at this Angus, Rance Wheelers. I think that guy's fingers ever cramp play the organ. That song goes
He
out, don't it?
does it a lot.
I
Yeah.
mean to tell you.
He's
Well,
good though. You would think if you were here, the people online may not be able to hear that, but when he plays that thing steady, you'd think it's a recording.
Right. I didn't know they had that many songs you could play on organ. He can do it. Well, here
He's
goes
pretty
Doc.
smart.
He's headed the other end now. Where
I
do
don't
you think he's
he
going,
had
Corey?
this all. I don't think he had this all
No,
played out
no.
in his head. I think he's kind of waiting for these reserves to come over, and he's checking out that reserve sim solution heifer right now. He has been from one end to the other.
Well, we're headed back that direction. Back up the line towards the front. Well, now we're looking
is
at
gonna
probably
go
the main. I don't know. He's wanting to. No, he's back up here. He'll get it sorted here in a minute. I don't know.
He's going to walk down to that corner and look at that sim solution
Looks
heifer
to
again.
me like he's going towards the sim solution.
And
That
he's
it
going
is.
to pick her.
That'd be Sarah Sullivan again.
There
Yep.
you go.
Sarah Sullivan.
Is that the one that you guys were saying was Supreme at American Roll?
She
right?
was Supreme in American Royal. You
Okay.
bet, a couple weeks ago.
So
Love her,
do we
boy.
have to? Does that mean we're not going to brag on Herman on that, are we?
No. I mean, I guess we can. He found the third. I don't care.
They weren't all there.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
We still got to pick on it.
Oh,
Yeah.
absolutely. And hey, you know what? Here you go. You got Dr. Rayfield's finding the fifth one. And I don't know where he goes.
I think it'll be something different.
I think you could be right. I think it could sure enough. Look at here.
How about that short horn?
How about a shorthorn in the top 5?
That's
Wow.
Reed Shoemaker
Okay.
from Columbus Grove, Ohio.
Oh, cool.
Wow.
That's a
Red
good
Knight
heifer. A really good heifer.
Well, hey, it's been a pleasure being here. We're not going to keep you all night. We've talked about it all night long. We're pretty proud and excited to bring you guys Cattle Drive Live each Monday at 7:00, hosted by myself and Corey. There's a little write-up they did about us today that was on the Pulse, and I thought it was really neat that our crew all felt, what is it that we want to bring to this business? And I'll just tell you right here, those of you that are staying with us, we hope to bring honesty to you. We hope to be integrity with that. And we hope we're candid. We hope we can have a good time. We hope we bring you something each week that you can enjoy and learn from. I hope it's for people as well-rounded as Jirl. I hope he can get something as well as you people that are new to the business. we want to welcome you and thank you for being a part of this industry. And we want to be that vehicle and that voice for that. So thanks for watching us today a couple of times. Jirl, thanks for being on.
Thank you. It's an honor. I'm be interested to watch you guys and see where you go. And looks like you got things moving, and it's going to be good.
Thanks.
Hey, and make sure and tune in tomorrow night, 7:00.
That's
special-
Monday, isn't it?
Yeah, tomorrow
It's
night.
game
Yeah.
time for you
Yep,
guys.
and got Clancy on with the Denver Stock Show.
Mhm.
Going to talk about all the new facilities and ins and outs of that. And like we said earlier, got a special guest coming to you. We're going to announce tomorrow in that show, and it's going to be something you're going to want to watch.
You bet. Be watching tomorrow. You'll find it through Facebook. Hopefully social media helps us carry it, but a real special guest coming tomorrow, 7:00 Central Standard Time, Cattle Drive Live. So guys, thanks for watching.